IVM.
There's a quick survey to fill out on ivmpodcast.com/survey. It lets us know a little bit more about who's listening to us. And you know what? We're going to do a few prizes. So, we'll do a random drawing of maybe 10 people and we'll send you all some swag. Remember, that's ivmpodcast.com/survey where you can fill out the survey.
So I just saw a reel, one of those funny ones? Well, it was about trying to figure out whether it is your intuition trying to protect you or your anxiety trying to limit you. And I know one of the most common questions that I'm asked is, how do I know it's my intuition? How do I know my gut is right? To be honest, I've done an episode on how to identify your intuition, how to sense it, how to figure out whether this is really your inner voice guiding you. It's there. You just need to scroll down on the IVM Podcast app and website. There's also an episode called Trust Yourself. Because if you don't trust yourself, then you're not going to be able to figure out whether it's really your intuition or it's anxiety. Okay? So if I've already done episodes, then what am I talking about? And why am I doing another episode on intuition? Well, because I'm Chetna, your favorite positive action coach, and this is Say No to Drama. So I'm going to try and go at the same subject, but from a different angle, okay? If you need to trust yourself, then you need to allow yourself to make mistakes without judging and without resenting it. Yes, it's okay if you make mistakes. You need to learn to improvise. Trusting yourself is not about knowing that you're going to be perfect and you're always going to be right. In fact, it is about knowing that you have your back despite whatever happens, that you have your back even in your worst decisions. Okay? That is what trust is about. The second thing that tuning into your intuition requires is for you to understand your desires. What is your intuition guiding you towards? It's not always protecting you and preventing you from doing things. It's there to guide you towards something, which means that in the process of moving towards something, on that journey, if you're about to take a wrong turn, then your intuition is going to pop up and say, beep, beep, wrong turn, we need to go the other way, okay? Or if you are moving towards something, then your intuition is saying, okay, we need to get from here to there. 1, 2, 3, 4 are the steps that we need to take, and this is the path. But if you don't know what you want, if you don't know where you are headed, then what exactly is your intuition supposed to guide you towards? When I'm doing tarot sessions, a lot of times people will ask, what is my purpose? What is my calling? What's the best job for me? And my response to them is, these are tarot cards. The cards don't have doctor, therapist, physiotherapist, personal trainer, investment banker. It has none of these written on it. So you need to come up with the options and choices, and then we can ask the cards whether this is good for you or not. So similarly with your intuition, you need to decide what is your goal, what is your desire. Then your intuition kicks in. It's not going to answer your what questions. You're not getting things on a platter. That's not your intuition's job. So what do we have so far? One is understanding what trust yourself really means and learning to trust yourself. Number 2, knowing that if you don't have clarity about your desires and goals, then your intuition isn't going to kick in. And yes, some of you may argue and say, but isn't my intuition supposed to guide me towards my purpose? Sure, but then you have to be open to understanding what your purpose is, which also involves understanding your likes, your preferences, your interests, and realizing that your purpose may not be your career or your profession. So removing that obstacle or that limiting belief. And as your intuition guides you towards things of your interest, and it makes you try different things and makes you have different experiences, places you in situations that you didn't think you would find yourself in. How you react, how you respond, finding your purpose depends on that. Remember one thing, your intuition is a GPS system. It's only supposed to show you the map. It's supposed to guide you. It's supposed to prompt you. It's not supposed to walk there for you. That's something you've got to do. So if you are not willing to move, then there's no tuning into your intuition or even listening to it because it ain't speaking to you. Oh, and there's another thing that you should know about your inner voice. It is not responding or reacting to drama and tantrums. So if you are in this mode of, oh my God, I'm not finding love and I will not get married on time and I'm being left behind, your intuition is quietly sitting in the corner and chilling, possibly imagining itself to be on a beach sipping margaritas. It has no interest in guiding you. In that moment, it is definitely your anxiety that is speaking. Your inner voice will respond and react in a conversation that is stemming from a space of desire and willingness. It will sit quietly, very silently, watching you, observing you, just waiting to step in to protect you if needed when you are having conversations that are stemming from fear and panic and FOMO and this whole sense of, oh my God, I'm running out of time. So if you want to start conversing with your inner voice, if you want to start tuning into your intuition, if you want to start understanding your own instinct and really trusting your gut feeling, then you need to start working on yourself to remove those superficial layers of fears and dramas that you have created because of what other people say is right or what the world judges you as. Also, let me take the world off the hook for a little bit. The world is too busy doing its own thing to be judging you. You are more busy than the world judging your own self. Okay? So yet again, under all that judgment, your intuition is busy floating away in the background. And the last point in this one, if your inner voice is speaking to you, you know that your gut is right. You can sense it and you understand it. You are able to interpret it, but you are not acting in accordance with it, then boss, at some point it's going to stop talking to you as well, because your inner voice does not like to fall upon deaf ears. So if you want to tune into your intuition, you have to act in accordance. Going back to point number 1, you have to be willing to make mistakes, tripping, falling, getting stuck in things, all a part of the process. Your intuition will make you fall down sometimes because there is a tool or a lesson that you need in that moment. And the only way it can give it to you is in that manner. But you've got to trust. And without that, there is nothing. Now, if you want to know how to identify what your intuition sounds like or what your instinct feels like, then scroll down to that episode on intuition and further down to that episode on trusting yourself and listen to those on the IVM podcast app and website. Also, if you want to book a session with me so that we can get you to clarity, then DM me on Instagram. My handle is Positivity Angel.
Hello. It's been another great week on the IVM Podcast Network. On Cyrus Says Cock and Bull, Cyrus is joined by Vineet, Puneet, and myself, Silvery, Urf Antariksh. We discussed the IPL taking action against Rishabh Pant and the Florida bride that was arrested for lacing her wedding food with marijuana. Yeah, that's wild. On Paisa Vaisa, Anupam and Rahul Shah, co-head of research at Equity Master, talk about how to get started in the equity market. On All Things Policy, the Takshashila folks analyze the role of social movements in public policy. On Pulyabazi, Pranay and Saurabh look into electric vehicles and why their batteries seem to be failing. And on Say No to Drama, Chetna tells us how we can overcome saying no to everything. Do follow us on social media. We are IVM Podcasts on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and LinkedIn. And remember, if you're enjoying this show or any of our other shows for that matter, do tell a friend. It really helps us out a lot. Also, don't forget to rate us on any platforms you're listening on, and you can also check us out on YouTube. We are also doing a small listener survey to better understand how you respond to our shows and advertising on the network. We would really appreciate it if you could spare a few minutes to fill it. It helps us build better shows for you. And finally, we would like to thank our sponsors this week, SBI Life Insurance, India Water Portal, and Jupiter, a digital banking app.
Are you looking for finance products and services that can enhance your personal finance experience? Are you looking for a space to talk about your financial product or service? And are you looking for a crisp talk show where the conversation is all about money? Well, your search ends here. Hi, my name is Anupam Gupta and I'm host of the Paisa Vaisa podcast, and I invite you for the conversation about your personal finance on each Monday on the IVM Podcast app or the website or on any podcast streaming platforms. See you folks.